Ben McKee and Patrick Brown of Vols 24/7 here on campus of Tuesday of Alabama Week, on Tuesday of Alabama Week, I should say. Just got done speaking with Darrell Sims. We've got some Lindsey Nelson construction back there in the background. Also spoke with Tim Banks, and Tim Banks, more takeaways from the defensive coordinator than the running backs coach. We'll touch on some of the things that Sims had to say, but obviously Tennessee this week working through the loss of Keenan Pili. We did get to speak with Caleb Perry and Bryson Easton, Omari Thomas. It was a defensive day, which I think maybe telling of the offense being in the film room maybe, but defense has its work cut out for them this week, as we've detailed with Jalen Milroe, Jam Miller, that running game, Ryan Williams on the perimeter, and now you have to overcome the loss of your green dot communicator in the middle of the field. Somebody, Tim Banks, said that was playing great football this season, and even Tim's wife went to bed just feeling really bad about Keenan and woke up talking about Keenan once again, just because of how sad of a situation that is.
Yeah, I mean, Banks was very kind of candid in that moment. And speaking of candid, the best quote today was from Bryson Easton, who said, I grew up not liking Alabama because they won, and I'm an underdog guy. So that was the best line of the day. And Banks, talking about the linebacker, said it was going to be kind of by committee in terms of who's going to wear the green dot. We talked a little bit about this I don't know if it was here or our podcast yesterday, but Jeremiah Thielander is going to be the main guy, but you also have to prep other guys, whether it's Arion Carter, whether it's Caleb Perry. Banks suggested it could be dependent on what formation or what package they're in. I don't know how many formations Alabama's going to run like Florida, where they're going to need to be in a 4-3 defense necessarily, but maybe it changes. And he also noted that they bounced it around. And when Thielander's been in the game, it's usually for Pili, so he's been wearing it. So this isn't going to be completely foreign to him. It's not going to be foreign to Tim Banks, and communicating with Thielander, who's not a seventh-year senior, but a sophomore who's played a decent amount of football. So, and Caleb Perry said that Thielander is always in the building, working hard, preparing really well, and there's obviously, I think, a lot of confidence from his teammates and from the coaches as well, as he's going to be the main guy stepping up for Pili, and he's got to go and play well, but there seems to be a lot of confidence that he will do so.
One of the other main storylines from the Florida game that I don't feel is being discussed enough is the play of Tennessee's cornerback tandem.
Really,
Ricky,
secondary.
Yeah, the secondary overall, but I want to hone in on the two corners, because Ricky Gibson III and Jermai McCoy played excellent football, and it sets up for a really nice matchup this weekend between Tennessee's corners and Alabama's receivers. And more specifically, we'll see how Tennessee covers Ryan Williams. I'll be curious to see if Jermai McCoy follows him around. But regardless, those two guys are going to be matched up on one another quite often, and that's going to be a really fun matchup for the football purists on Saturday.
Yeah, Tennessee doesn't seem to be a defense that just has corners go follow a guy around. That doesn't seem to be their MO. And speaking on the secondary, Boo Carter played well the other night. Yes. Christian Charles played really well too. Tim Banks had good things to say about both those guys, and those two players who are on very different stages of their careers and different paths. But yeah, and Banks said that both those cornerbacks, Gibson and McCoy, have played really well. I mean, yeah, McCoy gave up some plays against Arkansas, but, man, it seems like every time he gets targeted, he's in really good position, really good coverage.
Those plays against Arkansas felt more like just bad luck and tip of the hat to the offense.
Yeah, exactly. And so, that's going to happen at cornerback. Gibson obviously made a great play against on the jet sweep, showed a lot of speed and instincts to be able to cut that play off in the backfield. And so, yeah, these are two young guys, two sophomores that are continuing to play well. They're going to continue to be asked to hold up in man coverage, I think. And there could be some good matchups, like you mentioned, with Williams, with Jeremy Bernard, who's a Washington transfer that's played pretty well for Alabama so far. So, Tennessee needs those guys to play well for the defense to play well, and they've gotten generally pretty good coverage from both those cornerbacks, and that's why I think you look at the snap counts; those guys are not really coming off the field a whole lot. So, I think that maybe speaks to how well they're playing, and also how much the coaching staff feels like those guys need to be on the field for the defense to be at its best.
Do want to touch on the offense before we get out of here, as well. It was mostly a defensive day today, which is funny because of all the question marks on offense right now. But in speaking with Darrell Sims, it was mostly running back talk, obviously, and he likes where his group is at, and obviously he's very pleased with Dylan Sampson and his play right now. The question that we've been discussing amongst ourselves, kind of looming over that room right now, is how Dylan Sampson is able to withstand 25-30 carries a game, because he's carrying a large workload right now.
Yeah, he's I think 29 touches against Florida. I think he's been at 22, 23 in the last 3 games. So I mean, they're saying, Dylan, put us on your back, and he's responding, because despite the passing game's inability to get to 200 yards, he's got 5 100-yard games and 15 touchdowns this season. So he's the best thing going for the offense, and they're getting good results with him playing. And I asked Darrell Sims about how do you balance, riding him but not overloading him. And he said that he pointed to a situation the other night after they went on a long touchdown drive and scored. They had the interception. Right after that, came back with Bishop on the next play. And something else that Sims said was talking about pass pro is that they're in the right spots. They're doing what they need to do. They just need to finish plays a little bit better. And they're kind of just maybe getting beat at the point of attack a little bit and giving up some pressures in key spots. So, but Sampson's doing really well. He's really prepared in the offseason to get his body ready to handle such a big workload. And the Vols need to keep going to him and keep letting him run them out of trouble and run them to points and touchdowns and all that stuff, because he's doing a really good job of it this season.
I said it on Saturday. I think he should be in the Heisman conversation. Maybe not the front runner because of what that Boise State running back is doing right now, but I don't know how you could list out 5 of the best players in college football right now and leave out Dylan Sampson at minimum. So another big test this weekend for Tennessee as they welcome Alabama on the 3rd Saturday in October, and of course we'll have plenty of coverage leading up to the game.
The sun comes out during our video. Is that an omen?
Is that an omen? We will see on Saturday. Of course, we've got plenty of coverage all week long at GoVols247.com leading up to the game, and we'll have plenty of reaction on Saturday night. He's Patrick Brown. I've been McKee.